G Suite and Canvas. Google Docs, Slides, and Sheets integrate with Canvas in a few different ways, depending on what you want the end user to be able to do with the document. In this video, we'll briefly go over these options and some key points that you need to consider when adding these types of documents to Canvas. So, one is how to make a copy to each student, how to share a view only or maybe a full class editing option on a document with students, having students create and submit their own Google Docs slide sheets, and how to make sure family members are able to view any documents that you want to make sure they have access to. First up is a Google Cloud assignment, where you provide a copy of a document to each student. In order to do this in Canvas, you would create your assignment, and then you would put in your directions in what is called the Rich Content Editor box. And then, as you are setting it up, you would choose under Submission Type, External Tool. At that point, it will ask you to enter or find an external tool URL. You're going to select Find. You're going to scroll to find Google Docs Cloud Assignment. Select that. And this will take you into your Google Drive. If you know the name of your document, you can search here. Sometimes, though, it is much easier if you have it organized by folders. This is also a tip to give to your students as well, to create a folder for your class. So I'm going to select the folder, and then I am going to choose what template I want. I'm going to select the file, and I'm going to select Submit. At this point, it looks like nothing happened, but it did. You will then choose Select. As you notice now, there's a URL and a web address there for Google Drive LTI. That means your document is attached. You will finish any of your settings, and then you will select Save or Save and Publish. Either way, save and publish, your students will be able to see it. Once the assignment is attached, you will see if you put directions in, it will be up at the top, but then you will see the assignment template. Your students will be able to then open this. Once they open the assignment, it creates a copy of the document for them. Now, one thing to note, parents cannot see this attached document in this way. So that is why putting directions up in the Rich Content Editor box is so important. The next option is to link or embed a view-only copy of your document, or allow for it, in some case, a whole class edit. It comes down to your sharing privileges on your document. So first, when you go to embed it, this works on any content item in Canvas, page, discussions, quizzes. Anytime you see this Rich Content Editor toolbar, you will have this option. So when you're creating a document and you decide you want to be able to share this document with your class, you will need to, as you're creating it, you should decide how you want to share it. By clicking that share button, I'm going to show that again, the share button at the top of the document or slide. And then this is a little different view than it's been. Down here, it says get link, but it's restricted only to the people that I've given permission to. However, for students, what I want to do is change the link to Edmonds School District. Okay. Once I have changed that, anyone in the Edmonds School District with a school district account, students or staff, can view this document. Families would not be able to view the document. Okay, that's an important piece to know. If you want students to be able, or families to be able to view it, which we'll discuss a little bit as well, you would choose anyone with the link is one of your options. Now, if you wanted students to be able to edit the document for whatever reason, you would change here to editor and then select done. Now, when you go into Canvas and you're in the rich content editor box, you will see a little icon here that says more external tools. It's a little blue caret, sometimes we refer it to. When you select it, you will see the option that says Google Apps. You're going to select that. It will once again load your Google Drive, and this is where it is helpful if you actually have folders to make it easy to find, as well as to make it easy to know what document you are sharing. So once I find the document that I want to embed, I will select the item, and I can choose to embed it or to provide a link to it. With a link, if you're doing multiple documents, this is probably the best choice because the page doesn't get too long. Embed puts the actual slideshow in there. So if I select embed, you will then see the slideshow that pops up. Okay. When I select save, the students then, or save and publish, if you are ready for the students to see it, but the students will be able to see the slides and then advance through them. Now, keep in mind, families cannot see this in the parent app. It does not show correctly. So you would have to either, if it's something you want families to see, you would either need to embed it in a different way, which I can show you a little bit later, but then, or put a shareable link that families can view underneath it. And you could say link for families. Now, if I would have given students the ability to edit this document, then all the kids would be able to edit it. Okay. This is not making a copy for each student. Besides using the external tool, you can take your document and you can just copy and share your shareable link. So I could just simply say copy the link, and then within my editing, if I don't want to go through this piece, I can say syllabus and highlight it and choose link to URL and paste that link and say insert link. Now this is a link. I can't test it until I've actually closed the window or saved this part. If you want to force a copy of this document, maybe you want students to all have their own copy, but maybe there was multiple assignments, or you don't want to mess with the submission tool, then you can go to your document. You can go up to your URL. And if you notice in the URL for the document, it has some information here and then it says edit. But if I change this to say copy, and then I make a copy of this link. I'll take that link, that new link I made, and I'm going to say syllabus, make a copy, whatever you want to kind of clearly name it as. And then you want to put that link there and insert link. Now, when I save this document, what that will do, or this piece, this assignment, and this works once again on pages, discussions, all of those. If I select the syllabus link that I said make a copy, it pulls up to force the students to make a copy. The other option will pull up just a view only. So they won't be able to change it. It'll pull up a view only of the document. They could make a copy of it if they want, but it doesn't force them to. If the sharing privileges are set to allow anyone with the link, then families could actually view the document this way. The third option is having students create and submit their own GSuite docs. No templates. This is great for like presentations or when they're writing essay responses or paragraphs. They may be creating their own document and need to turn it in. So the way to do this is a few different options. One, when you have your assignment created in Canvas, under submission type, you will select online. When you select online, you then have a few different options. You can have students submit the URL to their document. The problem with that is students do need to remember to provide sharing privileges for you to be able to view or comment on the document. Most common is file uploads. If you select file uploads, this will allow the student to upload a file of their document when they're ready to submit it. This creates a screenshot, basically, of where their assignment was at the time that they submitted it. So you're not seeing a live document of them working through it. This is for final drafts. Students can resubmit multiple times unless you put a limit on it. When you select file upload, you will see plagiarism review option. This will allow you to run their submission through Turnitin. Students do not have to sign into anything. You as the teacher do not have to sign into anything. I can just select Turnitin, and then it'll give me options that I want to use, and then I can assign. And students then will, when they submit and upload their document, they will, their document will go through Turnitin, and you will get a plagiarism report. You do not have to use this option if you don't want to. That's completely up to you as part of your choice there. Once that is taken care of, you select Save. At this point, students then can upload a copy of their document. If you want to be able to view a live document the way as students are working on it, they still will need to address the share setting piece, but you could select text entry, and this would, as the submission option, and then that would give students a rich content editor box where then they could use that little more external tool option. And that would give you a live view. But once again, if they didn't give viewing privileges, then that can be problematic because you would have to follow up with the student to be able to access their document. There are some resources in our student resources that go over how students will submit a file upload of a Google Doc. So the last piece is enabling the view or share settings for families. If there are documents or slides that you want families to be able to view as well when they are in the parent observer role in Canvas, then you do need to take that into consideration because most of the other options they will not be able to see since they do not have an account in the Edmond School District. So in order for that to happen, there's two options. One, if you're sharing with a link, such as your syllabus, you will want to make sure that your share setting is set to anyone with the link. This way, when you put the link in Canvas in the rich content editor box, families will be able to open that link. We know most family members that are observing a child in Canvas. We know that the majority of them interact with Canvas using the Google app. And what we have found is embedding documents, such as slides, in the rich content editor box using that little blue caret option doesn't work well for families within the app, regardless if the share settings were set. So if you want families to be able to see a slideshow that you have, you would select File, and you want to embed it. File, Publish to the web, Embed, copy the embed code, and then you would return to Canvas. And at the top of an assignment, if you have a bunch of stuff written here, that's fine, the directions, because you need some information about what the slideshow is or additional content. But then you're going to select this little link that says HTML editor. When you select that link, you want to make sure you're at the bottom of your directions if you have them, or on the page where you want the slides to go. And you would go Control V or right click paste. And then if you go back up, you will now see Rich Content Editor as the link option. You will select that and it'll take you back to the page of directions that the students and families will see. And then you will see your slide embedded. I would recommend not doing this with documents because there's some extra steps and sometimes those can get very long. Documents, your best option is to provide a link to the document and then select Save, and families can view it. This is important if you, for instance, are using a Google slide for an agenda that you're embedding, and you want to make sure families can see it to be able to support their students. So that's a brief overlook of GSuite and Canvas.